Tens of thousands of calls to re-examine Elijah McClain death inundate Aurora agencies. Law enforcement agencies in Aurora are receiving a renewed flood of calls and emails asking officials to further examine the death of Elijah McClain. Aurora, Colorado. Aurora area law enforcement agencies are receiving a renewed flood of calls and emails asking officials to further examine the death of Elijah McClain, the 23-year-old, unarmed black man who died days after Aurora first responders detained him while he was walking home from a convenience store last summer. The Office of 17th Judicial District Attorney Dave Young, which cleared the officers involved in detaining McClain of any wrongdoing, has received more than 10,000 emails and 1,000 voicemails regarding the McClain case since June 7, according to spokesperson Sue Lindsay. The office had received only 2 emails pertaining to the McClain case in the previous 6 months. Lindsay said many of the emails are an identical, widely disseminated form letter asking for Young's office to further investigate and ultimately prosecute the officers involved. Young has said he does not plan to re-examine the case pending the discovery of new evidence. This story is powered by Collab, the Colorado News Collaborative. 9NEWS joined this historic collaboration with more than 40 other newsrooms across Colorado to better serve the public. In an emailed statement provided Tuesday evening, a spokesperson for Governor Jared Polis hinted that Young should endeavor to take action to mend public trust. Public confidence in the process is incredibly important, Connor Cahill, a spokesperson for the governor's office, wrote in a statement. The governor's office has received many phone calls and emails this week about the tragic death of Elijah McClain. The governor always supports making sure that there is a fair and objective process free from real or perceived bias for investigating officer-involved killings and was proud to add additional accountability measures by signing SB 20-217 last week. It is the governor's hope that the DA and those involved take the steps necessary to restore public confidence in law enforcement and the process. An Aurora City Council committee is insisting on a new independent investigation, which itself drew controversy after it was disclosed the city had hired a firm run by a former police officer to review the case. As of last week, Aurora police had received more than 200 complaints regarding the McClain case, including more than 120 phone calls, department leaders said at a public meeting Thursday. Officials categorized the complaints as comments on officers' use of strangleholds and carotid control holds, the recently outlawed maneuver police used on McClain. The technique involves applying pressure to the side of a person's neck in an effort to restrict blood flow to the brain and ultimately cause them to briefly faint. The department had received a total of 4 complaints regarding the use of chokeholds, strangleholds, and carotid holds in the previous 4 years combined. The public outrage has also trickled into the local police department's social media pages, where a flurry of recent posts have linked to McClain's name and petitions calling for new investigations. Multiple recent tweets linking to unrelated police press releases and digital media briefings have been inundated with the Elijah McClain hashtag. More than 1.8 million people had signed a Change.org petition calling for a new investigation into McClain's death as of Tuesday morning. City staffers, too, have noticed an increase in McClain-related messages on recent social media posts, according to Michael Bryant, spokesman for the city of Aurora. I know we've been receiving more comments on our social media as well as calls to access Aurora and the mayor/council office over the past few weeks, Bryant wrote in an email. He said the number of messages received via phone, email, and social media have totaled in the thousands. Office personnel for Aurora Fire Rescue have also noted an increase in messages related to the McClain case in recent weeks, according to department spokesperson Sherry Jo Stowell. She said the department started tracking the number of messages related to McClain that were coming into the office after noticing an uptick in such communications about 3 weeks ago. Since then, the office has received about 30 messages, the bulk of which call for the first responders who interacted with McClain to be fired and prosecuted. Aurora fire paramedics injected McClain with ketamine while police personnel held him on the ground the evening of August 24, 2019. The department maintains a waiver with the State Health Department and continues to administer ketamine to residents, Aurora fire personnel confirmed earlier this year. Even the 18th Judicial District Attorney's Office, which oversees the bulk of Aurora south of East Colfax Avenue, has recently been receiving several communications a day regarding the McClain case, according to a spokesperson for the office. The Arapahoe County jurisdiction did not handle the McClain case in any way. The spokesperson confirmed the office refers callers to Young's office, which was the agency that legally examined the case. Our jurisdiction covers more than 80% of Aurora, but Elijah McClain's death occurred in Adams County, the George Brauchletter's office tweeted on June 19. We have no jurisdiction there. Respectfully, comments should be directed to Dave Young of the 17th Judicial District. Calls to re-examine McClain's death have proliferated in recent weeks in the wake of mass protests that have become ubiquitous across the country following the deaths of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and others at the hands of police. The renewed interest in McClain's death led a New York Times story published last week that explores the enhanced interest in old, lethal interactions between minorities and police. Thank you for watching. Do like and subscribe to receive every news.